Welcome back to another Marvel rewatch episode. I'm your host, Tsunami. This week, we are rewatching Iron Man 3, Thor Dark World, and Captain America Winter Soldier. We're going to jump right into it. Iron Man 3 started off hot. Tony Stark's home gets attacked. You see all these suits. All the suits are getting ready to be destroyed. It is kind of a precursor to what we will see later on in the movie. Turns out bad guys attack him. We get to that pretty quickly afterwards. We get some throwback of long hair Happy, which is pretty funny. The look, I love it. A young Happy, young Aldrich Killian, who, spoiler alert, is the bad guy. We learn how him and Tony first meet. Tony kind of shrugs him off at an event, that kind of stuff. We finally get the 10 rings. That was really nice. We get the Mandarin, quote unquote. That's why I do the air quotes. We'll get into that a little bit later. We got Happy getting a promotion. Harley, who is the little kid, I believe from the first movie as well. I believe he continues, and Harley ends up partnering with Tony Stark to get his suit rebuilt, all that good stuff. He immediately confuses him for Ralphie from A Christmas Story. Hilarious. I love the sarcastic humor and dark humor of Tony Stark in this movie. It was great. Aldrich working with the 10 rings. That's what we're assuming here. Another really cool thing, when they're getting attacked in the home, Tony's able to send the suit over to Pepper. It allows her to kind of save everybody in the house. Calls it back to him. Kind of like a little preview to what we'll get with nanotech later on in the MCU. We got the banter between Harley and Tony is just absolutely amazing. Some of the jokes were just, dads leave, no need to be a pussy about it. Harley looks at him, you're gonna leave me like my dad? And Tony Stark just looks at him straight face and says, yup. Fucking hilarious. Loved it. The house party protocol was really cool, where he calls all the AI suits to come help him. Pepper kills Aldrich, which is really cool. Not Tony. She kind of gets the revenge for him trying to manipulate her throughout the whole movie. Destroys all the suits, makes a cool fireworks show out of it. And Tony Stark removing the shrapnel finally from his chest. Was really nice. It's kind of a nod to where we're going to go going forward, where we don't necessarily have to worry too much about that anymore. And Tony's a little more safe, I guess you could say, on a day-to-day basis. Moving on to the bad, Iron Patriot, just a really bad gimmick. I mean, I get why they did it. Very cheesy, very poor color scheme and layout. Another sad part was Happy just stuck being the third wheel. Tony being his playboy self, and Happy comes running in to try and save the day. There's no actual danger. I just felt bad for him being the third wheel, sitting there waiting for Tony to finish up his duties. I did think it was pretty bad idea with Tony doxing himself because of the Mandarin, and it backfiring. You would think Tony would be a little smarter than that, being that he's a genius. It was pretty much the same story as Captain America, so that could have been a little bit different. The only ugly I had is the breathing fire out of the that was just kind of unnecessary. Don't know why we had to breathe fire. If I remember correctly, that was Aldrich having someone breathe fire. I don't remember why there was fire. I just remember it not making any sense. And then here's my hot take for the movie. I do have a hot take to send out to the world. Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie, and I will die on that hill. The entire movie takes place during Christmas. There are Christmas presents, Christmas trees everywhere. The Mandarin plans to end his plan on Christmas Day, and the movie ends on Christmas Day. There's no way this is not a Christmas movie. Fight me in the comments. I don't care. That is my hot take. Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie. As for a score, it is by far the best Marvel movie we've gotten so far. It gets an 8.5 from me. Almost a 9, but not quite. But by far the best Marvel movie so far in the series that we've rewatched. Move on to Thor: Dark World. We're getting another Infinity Stone off the rip, which is really cool. Thor seems to be kind of the introductory place for these Infinity Stones, which is cool. We're kind of building that larger threat. We're getting a little more idea of why Thanos was in the end credit scene of Thor. Or actually of Avengers, sorry. Thor with that one hammer swing to just kind of fuck up Rockman. I don't know what his name was. He was just a bunch of rocks. So that was kind of cool. The Aether taking over Jane. It's a nice kind of change of pace to the stories we've been getting. Gives the new Reality Stone kind of a different feel and a different threat to it. The Viking funeral was really cool. And then Loki just being smart enough to cut off Thor's hand while fighting him. Obviously, if he doesn't have a hand, he can't call him Mjolnir. That was about all the good for me in that movie. The bad was the entire storytelling. Very, very boring story for me. I actually had to watch it 3 times to finish it because I just got halfway through it the first time, couldn't finish it, restarted it, got about a third of the way through it, and then to restart it again. It wasn't exciting to me, so the story just in itself was quite boring. I do prefer a little more comedy for Thor, just in terms of like Ragnarok and things like that. I like the comedic Thor a little bit better personally, just my thought. Another bad was just the Asgard soldiers' aim. They had aim like a stormtrooper, and it was terrible. Anytime they shot at a plane, they were nowhere near it. We don't even get a single tear from Odin, which is a little weird. You would think he'd be a little upset over the events of the movie, so to speak. And then apparently there's some rock that the Dark Elves break, and they go like Super Saiyan. Don't know what that was, because I thought at first it was the Aether, but that wouldn't make sense, because that took over Jane. We hadn't gotten that far yet. And then as for the ugly, pretty much just the Dark Elves, Malekith, pretty bad look to them, creepy little doll vibe. The end credit was cool, because Collector gets the Reality Stone. That's all safe and sound for now. And then my overall score on this was just a 4.0. Just a very boring movie in my opinion. Probably so far the worst movie we watched, but I can promise you there's more that are going to be worse than that. And then on to the Winter Soldier. The good was some of the Cap jokes throughout the movie. One that just stuck in my head as he's talking to Falcon about just kind of catching up on the world, and he goes, well, no polio's good. And the internet, that is so helpful. I just thought that was a really funny line. He's got a whole list of what he's going to do to kind of catch up on pop culture. The compromisation of S.H.I.E.L.D. was great. This is still one of my personal favorite Marvel movies in general. I loved Winter Soldier. Another funny scene was Natasha kissing him on the escalator, and she's just still uncomfortable. And he goes, not the word I would use. Not the word I'd use either. Scarlett Johansson. There was a joke, play on words from Saw, Shall We Play a Game? So there's a lot of cool little puns there. Keeping the pop culture references in place with Captain America. Keeping that theme is always good. We got our first mention of Doctor Strange. as well, so we know he's going to be coming in the future. And most of the fight scenes were just really good. Good choreography to the fight scenes, that kind of stuff. Some of the bad here, we got Fury's car waiting until the last minute to basically kick into defense mode. You would think S.H.I.E.L.D. would have a little more control or some better means for that to kick in earlier. The Zola AI was a bit kind of, felt like more of a placeholder to just kind of get to another point in the story. Didn't really have much. I mean, it had some lore. But again, the fight scene at the end of that when they're trying to get out of there. So it did make sense. Just wasn't sure why they went that route. We got our typical corrupt politician villain. Nothing exciting there. Done pretty well, but still just a typical political villain trope. So I don't know how Maria Hill was able to disguise herself through all of those Hydra people. That was a little weird. I guess that could probably fall under ugly because it just didn't seem reasonable. But again, she is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, so they've got lots of training. But that would be really, if anything, my only ugly. Then the end credit scene, Hydra steals the Tesseract. We get a glimpse of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, which is huge leading up to Age of Ultron, which should be in our next video, if my order of movies is correct. And then Bucky goes to that museum, sees the, basically the mural for him, well, not the mural, the memorial for him, starts to realize who he is. It's not so much brainwashed anymore. This movie, out of a 10.0, I would give a 7.5. Great movie, great story overall. Again, some little things, but that's just me nitpicking at this point. So yeah, that's pretty much my wrap for Iron Man 3, Thor Dark World, and Captain America Winter Soldier. We got an 8.0 or 8.5 out of Iron Man. We got a 4.0 out of Thor Dark World. We got a 7.5 out of Captain America Winter Soldier. Keep an eye out for more content. Let me know in the comments, guys, what are your scores? What were your good, bad, uglies for all three of these movies? Hit that subscribe button, share the video, send it to your friends, your family, your aunts, your uncles, your grandmas, whoever. Let's get everybody on this channel talking about Marvel, and we'll catch you guys next time.